Welcome to the Keeyns Taxi, where we pick up clients and industry experts for a drive and chat about the world of tax technology. In this episode, Ramon van Adler, CEO and co-founder of Keeyns, sits down with Nada from Dayco. Together, they dive into the challenges of global tax compliance and how smart software can make all the difference.
Great to be
Great
here.
to have you on this lovely day in Den Bosch.
Beautiful day, beautiful drive, and I always love being in Den Bosch. Such a gorgeous city.
Great city, right? And
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world, right, from Amsterdam, so...
It always feels longer to get anywhere from Amsterdam than to somehow, I think. No, I'm just kidding. I really, really enjoy being here. Such a rich history and very good coffee.
Very good coffee, yeah.
Very good coffee.
That's what the Dutch people need in the office, right? To get the day started.
Essential.
Essential. So can you tell me something about your daily work?
Of course. So I am a freelance tax advisor, my specialty being international corporate tax law. And at the moment, I am working with Dayco as a global tax manager. And that means that I am assisting the VP of tax with anything and everything regarding taxes that need to be paid in local countries. And what Dayco does is manufacture engine drive systems and aftermarket for automotive.
Right, okay, automotive industry.
Yes. Yeah.
So you and how many countries are you working with Dayco?
About 20. So they're present in about 20 countries all around the globe, which makes it a very dynamic environment. It's also a company that's always growing and strategizing, which means that they're always changing the presence that they do have in different countries. And of course, that rubs off on the tax function.
Right. Oh, very interesting job.
It's very dynamic. I love it. I love it very much, yes.
Yeah. And when you first heard about Keeyns, what kind of issues and challenges were you facing in your day-to-day work?
Well, because you're dealing with 20 different countries, you're always trying to catch up on local deadlines, local compliance requirements. You're trying to communicate with 20 different teams, maybe getting documents for reporting to management, meeting the deadlines or the requirements that you do have in each of those countries and keeping an overview.
Yeah, well, that's a hell of a job to manage that.
Yes.
How did you manage it?
Good question.
all over the world with all sort of taxations, right? It's a lot.
Yes, for sure. Well, I think a lot of Excel, a lot of emails, a lot of meetings, it's a lot of the mouse moving back and forth on the screen and trying to gather, documents and understanding what each other is doing through different Excel sheets, to be honest with you, and agendas. Yeah.
Well, Excel works, but it can be, you can do a better job with tooling, right?
Yes,
Did you have
I
tooling
agree.
in place before you used Keeyns?
Little to none, I would say. And, imagine 20 different countries having 20 different systems and ways of working and local requirements as well. So it's difficult to have even the time to step back and to say, hang on, what can we use as tooling that would work for these different places or even just for the overview?
Yeah,
Very,
I can
very
imagine.
challenging.
I can imagine. Yeah, well, the week is too short, right? So you just continue with the way of working, like it has been done for years. That's what you do, right?
Of course, there's legacy ways of working as well. And it's very difficult on top of your day-to-day tasks to be able to, have that overview moment and to say, wait, hang on, what are our processes and how can we do things better? Can this be more efficient or, more collaborative for us?
For sure. So Nada, while working at Dayco, can you tell me about the size of your international team? How many people are working in the tax department and on Keeyns and the responsibilities throughout the world?
Sure. So the corporate tax team that I'm a part of is 3 people in total. So very lean. It's me supporting the VP of tax, Martijn, and we have a transfer pricing colleague. we work together with our teams in each of the countries, more or less 20, and they are between 1 to 5 people in finance, which usually have a shared function with treasury and tax.
Right.
So imagine the teams that we work with also having various responsibilities and having to keep track of all of those responsibilities.
Right. So you have specific people running the VAT show and people working on transfer pricing and then the corporate income tax, obviously. So that's a lot then to manage. Do you know how many compliance filings you have for average on a monthly basis?
It's a lot. And what we've been digitalizing with Keeyns is only scratching the surface. Because at the moment we are focusing very much on the corporate income tax, VAT and transfer pricing requirements,
yes.
Which imagine for example, transfer pricing alone, it would be a CBCR notification, a local file, a master file. So within those categories, there's already a few workflows or subcategories. And we haven't even scratched the surface in countries like Brazil, where you have a provincial tax or a municipal tax, or China, where you have to maybe have a stamp duty, etc., etc., etc. So the possibilities, but also the compliance requirements are endless.
Endless, yeah, they're endless. And now you have been using Keeyns with the team for, I think, maybe 6 months?
Yes, probably 6 months, yes.
And how did that change your day-to-day responsibilities and operations, just the way you work?
Well, very practically, I will start my day usually signing into Keeyns and seeing what tasks are open, who's working on what. So instead of going into emails or into meetings and trying to figure out what were the priorities, what's urgent, what is important for the day or for the week, I'll go into Keeyns and see where we are in different workflows, and communicate through Keeyns. So I think that's a very practical, let's say, change of my day.
Right.
On a more philosophical level, I would say it has given more opportunity to collaborate, to share documentation, and to follow up on where we are on very specific processes without having to send 3 emails, go back and check the last version of a specific file. Yeah. I can log into the system, log into the platform, and have a look and see what's been uploaded, who's working on what.
Real-time information available in the system.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. If you had to describe Keeyns to a colleague who is unfamiliar with the product, how would you describe its value and the overall way of working?
I'd say it's a collaborative platform that allows you to chat and exchange documents and information to co-work on a single platform. And what I've noticed gets our colleagues the most enthusiastic is the fact that they can share documents very easily on a platform, and that they can collaborate with external advisors on the platform, wherever they are. Because for some countries, one procedure, one project, one workflow entails collaborating with 3 different countries.
Yes.
With me in the Netherlands, with an external advisor in the US, and with a local advisor in Italy, for example.
Yes, yes. And then you need to know where the data is, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you use Keeyns for the source of truth for the data. So no more emailing and no more.
It's a process, let's say.
Process.
Yes,
yeah. Okay,
it's a gradual, it's always hard to pry loose from our way of working, not to have anything backed up on a server or, to go to the emails. I do notice there's a lot less email traffic to exchange documents, but of course it takes a little bit of adaptation.
Yeah, of course. No, that's, it's probably a process of a couple of years, right?
I would say so.
Yeah.
So I was responsible for helping implement Keeyns, which means that I was the one actually making the workflows for Keeyns, and that means you have to understand what step goes into each of the local processes to do a certain filing, for example. Who does it and what the deadline is. So it gave me a lot of insight on what our teams actually have to deal with and what local requirements entail.
Yes. Great to hear. And did you use the default workflows in the system, or did you tailor-make them to your own way of working?
I went rogue. Yeah. I went custom on a lot of the workflows, and I even feel like we're still working on them. So as we start using Keeyns, we are working more and more to perfect the workflows to better mimic the actual work that the local teams do.
Yes. Well, it's great to hear that software is never finished, and probably the usage of it also not, right? So what's your experience on how easy it is to tailor-make the workflows in the system? Can you do it yourself, or do you need assistance from the Keeyns team?
Well, the team was great. They helped whenever I did have questions. Like with anything, I would say that you have a little bit of a time frame where you have to understand how the system works, how the builder works. It's very intuitive, I felt. So both making the workflows and using the workflows is easy enough. And the team was very available for any questions that I did have along the way. Yeah. They even actually helped tailor make or add on to the existing functionalities so that it would fit our business case more.
Right.
We decided to implement Keeyns in our main countries and to implement for corporate income tax, VAT, and transfer pricing. I worked closely with one of the customer success managers from Keeyns, and she really took me every step of the way on how I should be thinking about creating workflows, how I can talk to my team members. She helped me introduce Keeyns, did tutorials with my colleagues, help follow up on any questions after. Because of course, there's always a period of adaptation where team members who already have a busy day-to-day need to now learn to work with a new program that they're unfamiliar with, that is going to require them a little bit of effort and time, right? So that was part of my responsibility, and the Keeyns team was very responsive and helpful to support with that entire process, actually.
And how long did it take to get you started, and that the functionalities worked out fine for you?
I would say a lot of my time was spent creating the workflows. So really having sessions with each of my colleagues in each of the countries that we are present in to understand a specific filing or requirement. Let's say, how do you do your VAT return in Mexico? What steps and who is involved and what deadlines do you have? Once I gathered that information, I was able to put it into the Keeyns platform, so to create a workflow.
Yeah.
After that, it was fairly quick. So this will probably take a few months for me to do the setup behind the scenes, supported by the Keeyns team. And then after that, the rollout to each of the different countries was fairly fast. We did 2 sessions of tutorials, and then followed up with our team members over the course of a month or 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a smooth process.
Well, I would say generally it was. It does take a little bit of time to really understand your own workflows if everything has previously been done more locally than globally, for example.
Yeah.
Which, of course, to be in control within any company is a very important exercise to perform anyway.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
it's a bit of an investment, but it's a very grateful one, because you end up being a lot more in control, and you end up obviously being more organized in the process as well.
Yeah. Okay, Nada, so we've been working for decades in the tax industry.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I've been working, yeah. So where do you think the puck is going on the international tax level, also including tooling like Keeyns?
I think the trends generally, digitalization, globalization, AI is obviously a big focus. I think me as a tax manager, I'm going to be obsolete within now and 10 years. That's my expectation. And I think that on the way there, we'll see a lot of AI and a lot of tax technology taking over part of the functions that are currently done by humans in tax. And of course, globally, we're focusing more on, taxing the reality of our economics, which is digital as well, which is international.
Yes.
So that's my
So you
observations.
use changes coming up.
I do believe so. I think in general in life, and of course also for the tax functions, 100%.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to keep up or get left behind.
You're left behind. Yeah.
Yes.
So start now with tooling.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, that's true. I still think that people, there will be tax managers and tax people involved besides the tooling. That would be my opinion.
What will we be doing?
Still managing all the data and still managing all the legislation. And I don't know whether a computer can say go left, because it's also to do with company policies and the history of a company and where to go in the future. So I would say like a captain on a big airplane, there are still people on board, because
Right.
they can fly remote as well, right? So
Yes. Well, I'm not sure if a machine would make a worse decision about where to go than a human. So I would still argue that the possibility is very real that even the decision-making forces within companies will eventually be done by machines and better than humans, because all the policies or the rules that we do have or that we do try to implement to get to a certain goal, I do think a computer could understand them.
yeah.
But let's see.
Yeah, interesting times ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah, we should
For
follow
sure.
Where tooling can lead us, and also AI is going to be a big player in our field of taxation.
I think so. I think this is gonna, shape the future of our function. I think what we've seen when I did start my career, of course, it was a lot more about strategy and planning and, being a little bit more aggressive as a tax function to try and get savings. It's shifted massively in a very small amount of time to compliance and to focus a lot more on, keeping up with the requirements of being in control and to be able to show real time almost what you're doing as a company, and the level of fiscalization involved in, for example, having to be able to show your invoices at any given moment real time to an authority is a big shift.
It is. Yeah, it is. No, the environment changed massively. I fully agree with you. Yeah, tax planning is that's not what we're doing anymore, right? As tax professionals, no. That's
Exactly.
true. Yeah, exactly. And tons of compliance. They just throw it at you, right? And you have to deal with it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think this is also something where I do see a program or a platform like Keeyns being able to develop into perpetuity. Pillar 2, every year, every quarter, we're faced with some other rule being implemented either globally or on a local level. So, I think that there will always be processes that we need to monitor and oversee on a global level.
Yeah, fully agree.
Internationally.
Yeah, and then still I think it's people with tooling, but maybe you're right. We will. I'll invite you for a next tax drive in a couple of years' time, and we'll see who won the contest, right?
Yes. Let's put some Bitcoin on that and make a bet.
Yeah. Well, Nada, thank you very much. I had a very nice chat and drive with you.
Same.
Any final thoughts on the product Keeyns and on how tax departments can use it for the future?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity to really make a big step within your international organization, to collaborate differently, to share documents differently, and to make a step towards tax technology within your company that can really support the daily activities of all the teams in the different countries that you do work with, and having that overview on a corporate level.
That makes sense. Just get started on technology.
Yes,
That's it.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.